take a look at Last Resort from Halo 3, a science-fictional complex which serves as a wind power station redeveloped into a military training ground. It's an asymmetrical map, perfect for objective-based game modes, nested deep between a temple facade set on the tropical coast of Zanzibar, which is a real location in Africa, by the way. Yes, southeast of Mount Kilimanjaro through Savo Highway, which were all areas in Halo 3's campaign. The map consists of a large base with an operable gate, controlled by a switch that either team can open, but not close, allowing for strategic plays and intense battles over control of the gate. The gate plays an important part in the map's objective-based games. It's important to know that Last Resort is a remake of Zanzibar from Halo 2, and it expands on the map's design visually, whilst keeping consistent with the lore. Enhanced textures and lighting effects bring the environment to life in stunning detail, and it still looks good to this day. Key features of the map include the spinning wheel, which can be used to traverse the map upward for a surprise attack. Or how about those dynamic map elements and destructibles like the bridge, which can be broken to allow access into the first floor of the base. Physics to the coast water along the beach crash realistically against the shore, creating this dynamic and immersive backdrop for players as they navigate the map. This adds a layer of realism and immersion to the gameplay experience, making the coastal areas feel alive and interactive as corpses splash and drift offshore. Last Resort successfully encapsulates the spirit of Zanzibar, whilst elevating it through improved graphics and physics. Now, take a look at 343's recreation of Zanzibar.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
The result is a disappointing elementary clump of objects that fail to capture the essence of Zanzibar. Where the fuck is the water physics? It's not there because they made this bullshit with the Forge tools, and many of those dynamic map elements are simply static or non-existent because of said reasons. Pathetic substitutions like using sandbags to provide the illusion of a brick wall, scaled up rocks to provide a cliff face, or simple plains with a water material that make Halo 2's efforts look next gen. What is the point in this 4K gaming experience if it's just to support this concoction of shit? Give me one reason why I would want to play this Minecraft, especially when I can glitch out of the fucking map. Instead of paying homage to the lore behind the map, they trivialize it with out of place elements like fucking fruit markets and beach chairs to demonstrate a lack of understanding and respect for the source material, resulting in a disconnect between the map's narrative and its visual representation. And we see the same fantasy echoed throughout all of 343's content. Dredge is another prime example of 343's fuckery. When diving into the map for the first time, players can expect a new take on the scenery. Well, let's talk about that scenery, because there is no scenery.
There is no bathroom!
This whole map takes place underground, as if the game hasn't got enough underground boring environments. It's a reoccurring theme with this studio. What made Countdown an interesting map to play, aside from its verticality and its important role in the campaign, was its visual story. You go from a network of tunnels in this brutalist military silo with a huge saber decorated above this atrium-style combat zone. On the opposite end is a vertical push towards a vast open view of a lake and mountainous scenery, to provide the player with a sense of fresh air from its claustrophobic interior spaces. 343 replaced this view with nothing. What the fuck is this? You've got Forerunner architecture at the base, topped off by UNSC structures at the top, complete with computers and huge tanks and pipes that lead to nowhere.
You are nowhere!
The saber is replaced with nothing, and you seem to have forgotten the parapet walls so people don't fall off the edge of the fucking landing on your top levels. You don't even have floor plans to complement your design, as Bungie does with every loading screen, because you're building maps with tools that work interchangeably with the Forge tools, which means you're just placing objects anywhere. You're not actually building maps. That means you can't make no fucking floor plans. Is this a AAA service or what? I could easily summarize the rest of 343's maps as hastily thrown together and a feeble attempt to fill the void left by the lackluster campaign. Instead of offering compelling and immersive environments, the developer churns out uninspired locations like forest temples and industrial digging sites that should have been integral parts of the campaign, but only remind us of the 8 years development and $500 million this studio somehow managed to squander their third time round with this franchise. There is a serious case of money laundering with this studio going on here.
I do want to talk really quickly. I've seen some questions in chat chat, and I just want to clarify. Basically, people are like, well, what about Season 6? Or why aren't we calling this Season 6? The gist of it is that we're kind of no longer referring to seasons. We're shifting away from seasons.
It's hard to see if 343 will continue to support Halo Infinite and carry on with their 10-year plan, which is cope in and of itself used to justify the lack of content and bare bones state this garbage released with, if not to outline their plan to repeat Halo 5's service. They've had plenty of time to finalize and release some of those desperate wacky ideas and recycled content from Halo 5 to bulk up Halo Infinite, but only seem to have the energy to settle for lackluster equipment innovations like this quantum translocator that allows people to warp back and forth between spaces just to piss people off. Or how about this threat sensor remake? Difference between the two is that one bounces and the other does not. The operations that 343 substitute for regular seasons, which they promised, essentially offer what previous seasons did, but just at a smaller capacity, because the live service model was obviously too much for 343's diverse and inclusive workforce, except once again failing to justify raising their store prices just because they've added a portion of cross-core customization, which still isn't even a fully functioning system yet. It's taken 343 2 years to get a simple career progression system into the game, and it's completely pointless because you don't get anything for ranking up with this system aside from a few nameplates. All unlocks are tied to the overpriced free-to-play bullshit system, which removes any incentive to want to rank up. Double XP doesn't even count towards the progression of your rank because this system is a separate system from the battle pass, and your rank doesn't display on the scoreboard during a game, meaning the only way to view enemy ranks is when you're killed by someone. And this is a massive problem considering Infinite has no pre or post game lobbies, because this stupid ass developer sacrificed that for a 30-second intro clip to encourage the perverse obsession with their weirdo customization.
Okay everyone, welcome to the definitive Halo Infinite fashion show. I am joined here live on Twitch with a bunch of my viewers. If you guys want to say hello in the beautiful chat. I do like your Spartan, they're cool, but I'll be honest, the coding isn't quite doing it for me. I don't know if I love the horns either.
I hope you all fucking die.
Every arena in the modern day, wherever you find an influx of women, you find a substantial degrade in quality, cost, and production across the board. When women enter any space, they always make it about themselves. Every space must be made safe in the name of equality. And considering men are superior to women, this means the space must be purged of all the male influence until this appeases the spirit of the inner Shiva that resides in the ovarian mammal.
I had the luxury of being able to be at the original Women in Gaming conference last fall. Passionate about getting more women and diversity. It's about diversity of choice. That happens when there's more of diversity on this side, when there's more women on this side, when there's more diversity on the creator's side. As we were setting up the booth, there was a group of women walking the E3 floor, and I thought, how refreshing. I finally get to work with women. To have the diversity within diversity of everything that we've done within the industry reminds me of why I am in gaming, and that it does matter, and diversity does matter. What I love about getting all the women in the industry together is
Do we need men? Why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, love it. And by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can help you accessorize like
change. And this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and
no shit.
It's taken 3 years to get split-screen co-op into the game, which players had to glitch their way into prior to their recent update. It's just fucking pathetic. The infection game mode was also significantly late by 2 years. Players had to build their own custom infection games months after release, where making simple modifications like changing from a shotgun to a sword after infection is somehow a mountainous task that took this developer 2 years for some weird reason. If it wasn't to intersect with the stupendous multiplayer narrative that they conceived of moronically, featuring this diverse Asian male Spartan that's infected by this brute AI that lights up Spartans like a fucking Christmas tree, and these incompetent fucks couldn't even continue to support their narrative. It's completely scrapped, and it begs the question to how these brutes are even making AI with their big-ass elephant fingers. This AI thing shouldn't even exist in Halo because it's a pointless gimmick, and it's one of those fucking irritating traits of these progressives. They always need some AI up their arse to get them through the day, like fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
A while back, I introduced my first AI, Jarvis, to help around the house.
It's Saturday.
Jarvis is great, but what if you could have an AI that could help you with everything that you wanted to do?
And I know the son of a bitch who did it. We gotta go back to Karen Station.
Rather than doing something creative with the flood theme that's a core staple feature and lore of the preceding games, it's too scary for 343's emasculate workforce, barren of any testosterone. They can't have gore or simple blood decals because they need to sell this garbage to as many people as possible, which is why they desperately target a child demographic with a teen rating and market this watered down garbage to their biggest audience, the Asian continent, who maintain policies on censoring gore and violence. The infection game mode 343 tried to mainstream and reinvent makes god-awful changes where these idiot developers get everything wrong once again, turning the experience into a fast-paced rat race. They swap out the classic pump-action shotgun for a rapid-fire drum mag on a side of automatic weapons, which essentially ruins the tactical and methodical play that the game mode used to envelop, where this outlines flaws in 343's weapon sandbox. They're obsessed with precision and tracking-based weapons that make it damn near impossible for the infected to navigate the map without being insta-killed from distance. 343 countered this by making the infected faster and giving players less ammo to survive. You get one clip every weapon, so people group up in corners like little bitches, and 343 designed camping spots to encourage this pussy behavior. You're not getting by a group of campers with a fucking turret with infinite ammo. Do 343 even playtest this garbage?
Playtest is a time where people just goof off and they trash talk.
It's important to note that the community built their own COD Zombies game mode featuring the iconic Night of the Living Dead map, and once again 343 decided to mainstream and take credit for community work and put it into their multiplayer playlists in a desperate bid to bring back players to populate Infinite, so 343 can report back to Microsoft and tell them how they are maintaining this franchise successfully whilst they sit there making TikTok bullshit. How the fuck are you putting the 343 stamp on community made content like it's your own fucking work? You didn't make any of this, you cheap fucks. And this desperate behavior only continues to get worse as these progressive fucking idiots seek to prostitute the IP out to PlayStation in order to boost player count, which is a move that would kill this IP and the Xbox brand forever. It's getting to the point now where long-time fans need to come together and physically pull these woke idiots off this franchise. This isn't just Halo, it's happening to virtually any and all media and entertainment, where beloved franchises like Halo and its future iterations were best reserved for its core audiences, instead are now worked on and gatekept by an echo chamber of woke idiots who constrain its potential and do nothing. They gentrify and ruin the experience with their progressive bullshit, lacing it with gender-inclusive nonsense and emasculate male characters to equalize the two genders. Men like me who are qualified and want this IP to succeed are ostracized and demonized from the industry and pushed back into blue-collar jobs, which is why I've decided to produce my own content, trying to innovate the franchise in directions 343 haven't in damn near 20 years. A vision for Halo that won't be held back by dogmatic agendas, DEI policies, or identity politics that serve as litmus tests in the employment process. A vision for Halo that will embrace masculinity and employ men who are integral to the creative tapestry